Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. My name is Shaun from Slam, and you join me on my YouTube channel at Louwman Museum. This is a museum about everything automotive, mainly cars, but this is by Den Haag in the Netherlands, and it's definitely a place to come see. But I'm going to show you a virtual tour. Come with me. And as soon as you enter this museum, you walk into this massive hallway where you see custom cars, old cars, and everything in between. But this is definitely a cool place. But we are going to come to this hall at the end because we end up here. We're going to go into the elevator and go to the top floor and make our way down. So stay till the end of the video and you get to see these cool cars. Let's go. Please do not eat or drink. There's valuable cars around here. Fun fact, there's an audio tour on Spotify. You can use your phone, scan it, and listen to it. All right, let's go in the elevator. As soon as you come out the elevator, you're greeted with route to the museum and that beautiful, what would you call it, stained glass window portrait. Let's go. We're going to start from, this museum starts from very older cars and then goes to modern stuff towards the end. And they do have an awesome motorsport section. Let's go. Very interesting thing in this museum is a lot of the older cars, especially like the ones that got to be well preserved. What I can gather, they're kind of in an airtight room. As you'll see, there's a bunch down this way too. And I always find the glass is so super clean. Obviously you guys will see the reflection now, but when you come around the corner there, you're first like, is this still glass? But really, really amazing displays. And especially how the spotlights go onto the cars and make the background darker, a little dramatic. What I love, obviously what you guys know. Let's carry on. You can really see back in the day, the cars really looked like horse carriages, slightly modified to have an engine. This one is from the 1900 exactly. It had a 3.5 horsepower engine. Yeah. So not horsepower, but car power. So this is a reconstruction of the real car, but this is what it looked like. So in 1886, this was the first known car. Yes, everyone had other cars made or whatever, but they weren't designed to be a car in the first aspect. They were a carriage modified to be a car. So this was designed to be a car in the first time by, I think, Cole Benz, but it actually was his wife that made it famous. I know the story from long ago. His wife wanted to prove it could actually do it. So without his consent, she traveled, it says here, 194-kilometer round trip and proved that it actually worked and did that. So what does that tell you? Every strong man has even a stronger woman behind them.
What do you call it? I was just about to say the same thing. So I'm so glad that Shaun over here understands this.
In this room, they show you the development of the car from the 1900s to 1910, 1910s to 1920s, 1920s to 1930s, and so on, to up to the 1950s, 1960s, this room shows you. So you'll see in the B-roll what they look like. even from the early 1900s when cars came out, customizing was a thing, like having a custom horn and lights, stuff like that. So car customization has been nearly as round as long as cars have themselves. And customizing yourself to match, to duel the weather with the cars. And then if you want, your baby has a pimped out ride too. This shows you a certain evolution of cars, not the, how should I say, petrol we're known or diesel we're known to. But here's the start of electric vehicles from 1908, and everyone thought it was Tesla. Then we got something really different. Steam. Yeah. Back in the day, like the trains did, they made steam cars. Hi? I don't know if I would like to be shoveling coal into my car and driving around. Even have a French pickup truck, you would call internationally, but it's wood gas generated. So you'll throw your wood in here and burn it, and it will become, powered by wood, burning wood. Interesting, huh? So in this room, they show you basically from the V8 to the straight 8 to a rotary and to a 2-cylinder boxer engine. They show you how engines work. So they've got full cutaways of the engine to show you the insides and how they work. Pretty cool little, how should I say, acknowledgement to see how engines work. That's what I do like about this museum. It's a really chilled pace, but shows you all the cool stuff. As you can see, Louwman's Museum has got cars, artwork, and everything automotive related. I've just spotted something that here's a little special section that, how should I say, for special cars now and then. So this is a car from 1921. It has got, instead of power in the wheels, it's got an engine that powers a propeller. and drives the front of it. If you guys have seen this car before, it was on Grand Tour when they did a special thing with the Euro. Yeah, it was this type of car. I think it actually is this car too. But how crazy is that? So instead of the engine powering the front wheels or the back wheels, it powers by force in the front propeller. Crazy shit. Imagine living back there. Don't worry, I'll just jump in front of the car and push start it. Yeah, no. Won't happen. You'll be finished chop chop. You can join me in one of my favorite sections in most museums, but especially this museum. Let's see if you can read it. But this is a really cool car. It reminds me of a bit of a Corvette shape, but that's why. Racing and sports cars. Let's go.
As I said, this is my favorite car, a typical American hot rod. And what's a fun fact is they usually took old parts of Fords because they were cheap and then modified them.
Well, there would be signs if I won the lotto and had a garage. It would look similar to this. There would be signs. This room is really about the Italian cars, the Alfa Romeos, the little Ferraris and all that. But a lot of people don't know what the first Lamborghini looked like. Well, I present to you the first Lamborghini ever, the Lamborghini 350 GT, 1965. How crazy is that? Beautiful car. To the last and ground floor we go. We've got the great cars, but here's something pretty cool. Back in 1932, here's an old, what was it? A Cranon Blue Street Coupe and the Aerocar land yacht. Come with me, come see why you call it a land yacht. So, You basically had a coupe, Cadillac, and all of them built those. But how insane is this caravan or land yacht with these beautiful windows, the like, how should I say, train/yacht view on the top there? And then inside it's got a typewriter and all that. And it's actually on single axle, that's quite interesting. But you can see in the back here, it's got a little toilet and a basin. The toilet's on the right hand side. How great.
Basic amenities.
Basic amenities. Land yacht. So we came across this. This is a Jocelyn town car from 1922, but that's not how big in it and your driver was exposed to elements, but the awesome little side chandelier lamps on the side inside, and it's a full like great Gatsby inside the car. Coach building at its finest back then. So 7 of these massive fire trucks were used in the 1940s when Rotterdam was bombed during World War II by the Germans. And then these ones are very well known for putting out the fires in Rotterdam and not the whole city going down in flames. Not that most of it kind of was, but we won't talk about that. We got all these Sparker cars around me. Sparker was a Dutch brand that was from the early 1900s that made awesome cars, sports cars, race cars, and everyday cars. But the biggest thing is Sparker, when I was still growing up, came out with a car called the Sparker C8. And it was a beautiful sports car / supercar that used an Audi V8 engine. And unfortunately, Sparker did go bankrupt. And yeah, the company is no longer in existence. But there is a company that keeps all the C8s up to date. I think we need to go visit them one day. We got this cool Sparker from 1903. It was the first car in the world to be fitted with a 6-cylinder engine, all-wheel drive, and all 4 brakes. Should we say petrol engine with all-wheel drive? Here at Louwman's, they even have a variation of petrol pumps, as you can see from the early ones to what we call the later nowadays ones that are all the way down there. But it just shows you something so simple and mechanical to put fuel and petrol in your car has advanced through stages. But to me, back in the day, especially like these ones, they're like artwork. As everyone knows, the Bugattis nowadays is Bugatti Veyron, Bugatti Chiron, which are cool, and they're hypercars. But I do love the look of the old Bugattis. These are all the older Bugattis, but I particularly like the colored contrast of this black and yellow. I think it just looks cool with the, slightly brown tan interior I think it just looks really, really cool. But these are all Bugattis behind me. And as you'll see in the B-roll, but can't forget the baby Bugatti. Your toddler has to have a pedal car too. A fun part of the museum is towards the end. We've got this place, don't know if you can see me so well, as you can see the lighting is not the greatest, but it is like a little village slash town, huh? Is that what you call it, I think? And it's got shops with car parts, or car type oriented stuff. As you can see, there's signs and everything. And you can see there's like little workshops. But over there is a cafe where you can have a cup of coffee, a sandwich, the typical Dutch thing, but we don't do that. But as you can see, it looks like a little village. And then there's a cabin of a hot air balloon above us. But as you can see here, here's a mock-up of an old workshop. Hey? And then there's a toy store back there and everything. Really, really cool. Over here we have one of the coolest cars ever to be made, in my opinion, that is. We got the Toyota 2000 GT in the iconic red it came in, but this is such a beautiful Toyota sports car from back in the day. When was it manufactured? 1968, with a 2-litre 6-cylinder with 150 horsepower. But isn't that just a stunning car? It's not about the power, not about the speed, but just how beautiful it is. And to me, the start of Japanese sports cars is that. One day, guys, one day. We have made it to the end. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Shaun from Slam, and if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, give it a subscribe so you can see when the next one comes live, and comment if you enjoyed this video of a walk through a museum, because then maybe I'll go to some cooler museums in Europe.